Hare Krishna. Bhagavad Gita as it is. Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from the second chapter, verse number 41. Vyavasayatmika buddhir ekeha kuru nandana bahushakha hyantascha buddhayo vyavasayinam. Those who are on this path are resolute in purpose and their aim is one. O beloved child of the Kurus, the intelligence of those who are irresolute is many-branched. Purport: by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai ho. A strong faith that by Krishna consciousness one will be elevated to the highest perfection of life is called Vyavasayatmika intelligence. So we learned a new word here, Vyavasayatmika buddhi. It means that a strong faith that by Krishna consciousness one will be elevated to the highest perfection of life. That is single-pointed devotion to Lord Krishna. Vyavasayatmika buddhi. The Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila 22.62 states, Shraddha Shabde Vishwasa Kahe Sudrida Nischaya Krishne Bhakti Kaile Sarva Karma Kratahaya. Faith means unflinching trust in something sublime. When one is engaged in the duties of Krishna consciousness, he need not act in relationship to the material world with obligation to family traditions, humanity, or a nationality. Fruitive activities are the engagements of one's reactions from past good or bad deeds. When one is awake in Krishna consciousness, he need no longer endeavor for good results in his activities. When one is situated in Krishna consciousness, all activities are on the absolute plane, for they are no longer subject to dualities like good or bad. The highest perfection of Krishna consciousness is renunciation of the material conception of life. This state is automatically achieved by progressive Krishna consciousness. You see, Krishna consciousness, how is that different from other religious path? It's different because Krishna consciousness means 180-degree turn. You see, not 5-degree or 10-degree, it's 180-degree turn. Before Krishna consciousness, you think you are the body. After Krishna consciousness, you know you are the soul. So from body, you become the soul. And that changes everything, believe me. Why? Because when you understand Krishna consciousness, you know, you understand that whatever good and bad that happens to you in your life is all a result of your karma. And that karma is what you did in your past life. You have to understand that. Whatever good karma or bad karma you're doing now, you will get the result in the next life. Right? Therefore, you might think that, oh, I got a great job, or I made a big house, or I have so much good fortune in my life because of my hard work. No, that is the fundamental understanding that one needs to have. In Bhagavatam, Prahlad Maharaj says in his teachings, we get the result, good or bad, irrespective of our endeavor. See, this is very important to understand. In Hindi we say bhagya. In your destiny, in your fortune, in your destiny, I'm giving a very crude example. In your destiny, if you are if you are going to get $1 million, or in your destiny, it's you're destined to enjoy a luxurious life, you don't have to really make any effort. That will come to you regardless of your work or not work. That's a secret. One has to understand that. See, nobody wants sorrow. Nobody likes pain. But everybody gets pain. Everybody gets sorrow in some degrees, right? Nobody likes it. Show me one person who wants pain or who wants sorrow. Nobody likes it. But everybody gets it. Why? Because it was in their destiny to get that pain. Many times people ask, why do bad things happen to good people and why do good things happen to bad people? The one word answer for that is karma. A bad person in this life, the so-called bad person, he might look like a bad person, but that person did in his past life many good karmas. So he is getting a result now. And whatever bad he's doing now, he'll get a result in the next life. Have you gone for a movie? You know, a movie is, let's say there's a 2-hour movie. Your friend tells you, oh, this is a action movie, full of action. Okay, and it's a 2-hour movie. Imagine you go into the theater, you are late. You go when nearly 1 hour of the movie is over, and you've gone into the movie in the middle of the movie, and you sit down to watch, and you're looking, where's the action? Because my friend said this is an action movie. I can't see any action, and I'm just seeing comedy. There's all comedy going on, but my friend said it's an action movie. See, what happened here is that action was there in the first half of the movie, which you missed. You came late, you saw only the later part of the movie, so you missed the action. Similarly, our life is like a movie, or anybody's life is like a movie. The so-called bad person who is enjoying in this life, you haven't seen the full movie of that person. The first part of the movie was his past life. Or there are many parts to that movie, but to make this point clear, in that life he did a lot of good things. You missed that part, you didn't see that part, and now after interval he is getting the result of that activities, and you are seeing that later part of the movie, and you're wondering, why is he enjoying so much and why am I suffering? I'm doing good. You know, your past life dictates your present life. So if you're getting, nobody likes sorrow, nobody likes pain, but people get it excuse me, because it is in your destiny. You were destined to get that much of pain, 50% pain. You will get it. No matter where you run away, wherever you go, whatever is in your destiny, you will get it. Whatever joy and sorrow, and it's all in your prarabdha. So, here in Chaitanya Charitamrita, that same thing is said. So this was about the material world. Till now I just spoke about the material karma. Now we come to the spiritual world, spiritual activities. Activities done in Krishna consciousness. Now this is a little tricky to understand. We will, in the next few chapters, we will know about vikarma, karma and akarma. Vikarma is the bad karma. Karma is a fruitive activities. The activities which you do expecting a fruit. Akarma is nishkam karma. You are doing without any expectation of fruit. Akarma. Activities in Krishna consciousness fall in akarma. without expectation of any result. You're doing it. Akarma or Nishkam karma. Activities in Krishna consciousness are in the absolute plane. There's no action reaction to that. It is so when one is situated in Krishna consciousness, all activities are on the absolute plane, which means that there's neither good or bad reactions to those activities. In other words, they're beyond good and bad. They are in the absolute plane. All the work that you do for Krishna, it not only does not bind you, but it releases you from the bondage of your karmic reactions. The resolute purpose of a person in Krishna consciousness is based on knowledge. Vasudeva sarvam iti sa mahatma sudurlabha. A person in Krishna consciousness is the rare good soul who knows perfectly that Vasudeva or Krishna is the root of all manifested causes. As by watering the root of a tree, one automatically distributes the water to the leaves and branches, so by acting in Krishna consciousness, one can render the highest service to anybody, namely self, family, society, country, humanity, etc. If Krishna is satisfied by one's action, then everyone will be satisfied. Just as when you want to nourish a big tree, you don't go about pouring water in each and every leaf and each and every branch. You just water the roots of the tree. When you do that, the entire tree gets nourished. Similarly, Krishna is the source of everything. If you satisfy Krishna, then the whole entire creation is satisfied. Ishwaram Sarva Bhutanam. Everything emanates from Krishna and everything goes back to him. So just serve Krishna and you are done with all service. You don't have to serve anybody else. Service in Krishna consciousness is, however, best practiced under the able guidance of a spiritual master who is a bona fide representative of Krishna, who knows the nature of the student and who can guide him to act in Krishna consciousness. As such, to be well versed in Krishna consciousness, one has to act firmly and obey the representative of Krishna, and one should accept the instruction of the bona fide spiritual master as one's mission in life. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur instructs us in his famous prayer for the spiritual master as follows. Yasya prasadat bhagavat prasado yasya prasadan nagati kutopi dhyayanstu vantasya yashasvi satyam Vande Guru Shri Charanarvindam. Quote, by satisfaction of the spiritual master, the Supreme Personality of Godhead becomes satisfied. And by not satisfying the spiritual master, there is no chance of being promoted to the plane of Krishna consciousness. I should therefore meditate and pray for his mercy 3 times a day, and offer my respectful obeisances unto him, my spiritual master. Unquote. The whole process, however, depends on perfect knowledge of the soul beyond the conception of the body, not theoretically but practically, when there is no longer a chance for sense gratification manifested in fruitive activities. One who is not firmly fixed in mind is diverted by various type of fruitive acts. So here is a beautiful prayer by the famous Gaudiya Acharya Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, and this is from the prayer to the Gurudev. Every morning in all ISKCON temples of the world, this prayer is recited, Guru Vandana. In this it says, Yasya prasada bhagavat prasado. If one satisfies the spiritual master, then God is satisfied. See, Krishna is happy, more happy when you satisfy his devotees. That is the secret. You want to give donation to Krishna, you want to offer something to Krishna, you want to serve Krishna. Guess what? Krishna is not that happy as much as he is happy when you offer your respects, your love, your service to a devotee of Krishna. Think about it. In the material world, when is the mother happy? When you praise the mother or when you praise her children? When you take care of her children, when you love the children, the mother is even more happier than when you directly praise the mother or serve the mother or love the mother. Similarly, God is most happy when you serve a devotee of the Lord. So, the direct representative of Lord is the spiritual master. There cannot be any progress in your spiritual life until and unless you surrender to an actual living spiritual master. Not a photograph, not an idea of a guru, but an actual living spiritual master. Why? Because your ego dissolves when you serve an actual human being. You see, this ego is very, very hard. It is more hard and more tough than anything in the world. Even a nuclear bomb will not destroy this ego. Even the big apocalypse will not destroy this ego. It is so hard and so strong. What dissolves the ego? When you serve the lotus feet of a spiritual master. When you serve the lotus feet of a devotee, serving another person, not just a person, but a devotee of the Lord, a bona fide spiritual master, serving really like a menial servant. You mop the floor, you wash the clothes. Like a menial servant, you serve the spiritual master and you get 1,000-fold benefits in your spiritual life. You can read hundreds and thousands of books. You can memorize all the encyclopedias of the world. You can be anything. But unless your ego is dissolved, you cannot get entry into the spiritual kingdom. So with that, I stop verse number 41. Hope you've understood something and benefited some way. See you next time. Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Till next time, Hare Krishna.